way for re-election to the Football League, now lauding it in the Premier League. And Norwich City, who, as Richard has told you, can go back to the top of the Premier League tonight. Their form has faltered a little of late, to be honest with you, but they're still right up there with a third of the season gone. Let's check on tonight's two teams, shall we? Well, Oldham's goals have dried up of late, but tonight they have striker Ian Olney back after missing a couple of games with a shoulder injury. Good work that by Oldham's backroom team to get him ready. It means that Neil MacDonald has to drop down to substitute. At the back, watch for the man who's so taken the eye of the England manager, Graham Taylor. That's Richard Jobson.
Well, you mentioned it at the back, Ian, but it's up front where Joe Royle will be looking for a better return. The last 8 games, 8 competitive games, only 1 goal from Sharp, Olney and Marshall. He'll be looking for a far better return from those 3 tonight.
Well, as for Norwich City, they travelled yesterday with a squad of 17, and for the first time this season, manager Mike Walker has the luxury of everyone being fit. Striker Darren Beckford starts his first ever Premier League game after proving his fitness with a hat-trick for the reserves last week, and that exciting winger Rule Fox is also back after a long-term hamstring injury to play his first game in 3 months. Ian Culverhouse also returns, so Chris Sutton, Rob Newman and Jeremy Goss all step down.
Plenty changes in this side, but I would think you'll see the familiar 4-4-2 formation. David Phillips has been moved infield from the left side to accommodate Darryl Such, but all eyes from Norwich's view will be on number 8, Darren Beckford. And the mention of Darren Beckford, his first full competitive game this season in the Premier League, and I'm looking forward to his clash against a member of Graham Taylor's England squad, Richard Jobson.
Well, Graham Sharp here hasn't scored for 8 games, one of Andy Gray's old strike partners in his great days with Everton, and I suppose my reaction to that is he's overdue one.
He is overdue one, and considering I've got him on the sweep, I hope he comes good tonight here.
Graham Sharp, whose testimonial match comes up on Saturday. Brian Gunn, the Norwich City goalkeeper who's had to overcome personal tragedy with the death of his daughter, Francesca, and you can only admire the courage of this man. Anyone with children, indeed anyone at all, your heart goes out to him. All our best wishes to Brian Gunn. Tonight's referee is Robbie Hart from Darlington, a garage proprietor. It's not a question of whether you'd buy a used car from this man, he only repairs them. They're the Norwich City fans, many of whom flew at 5 o'clock in a sponsored flight. The Norwich chairman, Robert Chase, doing a lot of the paying. It's going to be Norwich City who get us underway here in their familiar yellow and green canary colours, and must be a good feeling for Darren Beckford there in the number 8 shirt. He's had such a terrible time with injury since August when he was injured on the pre-season tour, but he's back tonight and he'll be looking for goals too. Norwich with a much changed lineup. Here's Graham Sharp for Oldham. So far this season, Norwich City's away games have averaged 5 goals every time, so we hope we might be in for a little treat tonight.
Certainly settle for something like that return, wouldn't we?
We would, wouldn't we? Milligan. Out to Neil Poynton. Rule Fox using his pace to get back quickly. Beckford looking to play the 1-2 with Robbins, who was just offside.
I'm not so sure if he was offside, Ian. Linesman didn't get himself exactly in line with the defenders there, and he certainly didn't look offside from our angle.
Oldham Athletic, by the way, just harking back to what Carlton Palmer was talking about prior to the kick-off, will be favoured by kicking down the slope in the second half, which is what they like to do. Oldham building again with Gunnar Haller, the Norwegian international, who just lost his footing for a moment on that far side, and Bowen clears it for Norwich. Phillips knocking this one forward to Beckford, who will certainly give Norwich a little bit more by way of aerial threat.
Yes, he will, and something to watch for tonight is that Oldham are so adventurous.